Alors voilà, on vous l'avait promis, David Bowie est avec nous aujourd'hui à Musique Plus au lendemain de son premier spectacle au Métropolis. Il est toujours là ce soir aussi au Métropolis. Mr. Bowie, welcome to Musique Plus.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Did you enjoy your show last night?
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Hello. Can you hear me out there?
I think they can hear you a bit, yes. How is it for you to play in smaller places?
It's a joy. I think it's probably one of the most fulfilling ways that an artist can work, because you get to physically touch people as well as to actually see them and how they're reacting to what you're doing.
Yes.
And it becomes much more of a two-way situation than working in a grander, bigger venue, you know, where everything goes one way more, you know.
Je lui demandais comment il se sentait de jouer dans un endroit plus petit, parce que, bon, c'est sûr qu'on a déjà vu David Bowie au stade ou au Forum. Hier soir, il était au Métropolis, mais il dit que c'est extrêmement satisfaisant, parce qu'il y a plus une réciprocité avec les gens, plus une complicité, parce qu'il peut les voir, il peut voir leurs expressions, puis tout ça, et il trouve ça très agréable. You've changed a lot of arrangements when you see yourself on the TV, yeah?
I've never seen myself on the television before. Look,
yes,
that's great.
Right. You've changed a lot of arrangements last night in the show. Was it to make, you know, the show more in the same feel?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of my older songs that I like very much indeed, but presenting them in their original context tends to give them a time and a box and an age, and I didn't want that to happen to some of them. So I recreated them in a modern way, and I found that very fulfilling as well, because some of them lend themselves to more modern treatments. Things like Man Who Sold the World, for instance, is...
that was very different.
Yeah, well, we've been doing it like that as a trip-hop since 1995, early 95, and it's one of the first things that we started doing that was tied to the vocabulary of dance. Okay. And we did 2 or 3 things back then. I'm Deranged from the Outside album we did that was the first jungle piece that we did, and so we started moving into it easily and carefully about 3 years ago.
How do you keep the balance? Because sometimes adding a lot of beats and techno sounds and all that can swallow a song.
I think it's partly intuition about how far you should go with something, and partly knowing that the thing that's more important than anything else is the song itself. So you kind of have to have respect for the song in a way, and make sure that what you're doing isn't demolishing it or taking away from its importance as a song. So it's good taste.
Yes, yes you do. Alors hier soir au spectacle,
I do taste.
Yes. A lot. On remarquait hier soir.
Look, we're in black and white now. Isn't that great?
Yes, isn't it great?
Terrific. It's cool. Like film noir, isn't it?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Alors, hier soir, on a pu remarquer que David Bowie avait refait les arrangements de plusieurs de ses chansons.
Now you're in color. Look.
Oh yes, I'm in color now. So do you like me better in black and white or in color?
Look. Hold on.
You want to be
very important.
Yes, Free Tibet.
Free Tibet.
Very important.
With every purchase of the Earthling album.
Oh yes.
You get a Free Tibet, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's still very important for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very important.
Do you feel sometimes that we should be doing more?
Yeah, I think firstly, government should be very vocal about the situation that's occurred in Tibet since the 50s. But it does seem that most governments, the American government included, and unfortunately the British government, are more led by their trade agreements that they're trying to establish with China, and would really rather keep quiet about the horrendous social condition that has been created in Tibet, along with something tantamount to genocide among the people in Tibet. It's a very serious situation.
Yes. La libération du Tibet, ça prend beaucoup, ça le prend à cœur énormément encore. Malheureusement, le gouvernement britannique reste souvent muet sur ces choses-là. Il préfère garder ses ententes commerciales, tout ça, au lieu de régler la situation très grave qui règne là depuis longtemps, parce que la Chine a été, le Tibet a été envahi par la Chine dans les années 50. Et bon, ça le prend vraiment à cœur. Il dit qu'en achetant une copie de l'album Earthling, on participe en quelque sorte à la libération du Tibet. On a parlé aussi des arrangements de ces chansons d'hier soir que j'ai entendues au Métropolis. Bon, il disait que c'est sûr qu'il avait envie de réajuster certaines chansons parce que des chansons plus vieilles, vraiment, ça paraît qu'elles ont une étiquette, qu'elles appartiennent à une autre époque. Il voulait que ce soit un spectacle plus homogène, tout ça. Et je lui demandais si c'était difficile de garder une bonne balance. Il dit, ben, c'est une question de goût. Et bien sûr, il a du goût. Et puis, il disait que la première chanson qu'il avait commencé à faire comme ça, c'était The Man Who Sold the World en 1995. Il avait commencé à la présenter comme ça avec une version un peu plus trip-hop. I think we should go see a bit of footage of last night's show.
Oh.
So, yes, let's go and
Yeah,
see
I'd
you
like to
on
see that.
stage
All
at the
right.
Metropolis last night. Alors, ce que vous venez de voir, c'est I'm Afraid of Americans.
Oh dear, your table's burning.
I wonder why. I wonder what happened. I
know.
see some smoke, but I really don't know what happened. Special effect.
Yeah.
Yes. Alors, hier soir, donc, il a interprété la chanson I'm Afraid of Americans. I'm Afraid of Americans is on Earthling.
Yeah.
You're saying I'm afraid of Americans. Are you afraid of them as individuals or as a whole?
No, there's a certain element of dumbing down that's happening internationally. It's not just America. I think I probably chose America because the lowest common denominator culture emanates from America. The things like the
McDonald's?
the Disney McDonald's kind of syndrome
Yes.
has infiltrated so many other indigenous cultures.
Yes.
And is creating this kind of homogenous world, and that's a terrifying thing because it's just bringing in this blanket kind of dulling of aesthetic senses and all that.
Why is it so attractive for all those nations to have this American
It's easy to
feel?
comprehend, it's available very quickly, and it's cheap.
Okay.
It requires little thought to accommodate oneself to that way of living,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And would you live in a very fast world? Do you find it's more difficult to have perspective on things because the information goes fast, like so?
I think it must seem very hard to make choices because we seem to have such a plethora of choices available to us. I think it almost seems as though it's so difficult to make choices, why not let somebody else make the choices for us? And that's where it becomes particularly dangerous, I think.
Yes.
When choices are made by others for ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. On parlait, bon, il a interprété la chanson I'm Afraid of Americans. Je lui demandais, bon, vous avez peur des Américains, des individus ou les Américains en tant que nation? Et c'est surtout l'infiltration de l'Amérique là, partout, là, les McDo, les Disney World, les ci, les ça. Puis tous les pays vraiment embarquent et s'intéressent à la culture américaine. Je dis, mais pourquoi? Il dit, parce que c'est pas cher, puis c'est rapide, ça arrive rapidement. Puis je disais, bon, c'est vrai qu'on vit dans un monde où tout va très rapidement, puis il dit, ouais, c'est ça, trop de choix. Et puis des fois, le problème, c'est qu'on laisse des fois une personne choisir pour...
But let me point out that if I can add to that there are so many, I got such a lot of young fans that write into me about the records that we make that pick up often on things that myself or some of my band maybe have mentioned in terms of things that we do, books that we read, certain maybe more interesting kinds of cinema that we've been to, and their own natural curiosity for what's happening is very evident. They have a burning need to find out about new things, and they write and tell us about books that they're reading and stuff that they're doing, new art shows that they've been to, whatever. And it's just, I find terribly unfair that the emphasis is always put on the fact that young people don't want to know. They do want to know very much indeed. And it's very patronizing to presume, oh, all we need is show them some violent movie or just give them rotten food or,
and just let them play with the internet.
Yeah. So it's kind of a plea for let's
not
go with
underestimate their curiosity.
Yeah, let's not underestimate.
Il disait qu'il était quand même convaincu que les jeunes aujourd'hui sont curieux, ils s'intéressent à la littérature, à tout ça. Bon, et souvent, il va recevoir des lettres, les gens vont lui demander bon, qu'est-ce qu'il lit ou quel film il aime, ou ils vont partager avec lui leurs intérêts dans le cinéma ou dans la littérature, tout ça. Puis il dit c'est vraiment réducteur là, de vraiment dire que la génération actuelle s'intéresse à rien, pas curieux. Il dit au contraire, je pense que c'est une génération très curieuse. On s'arrête le temps d'une pause, on revient tout de suite après avec David Bowie.
Avec Gatorade et Musique Plus, vos commentaires passent directement par la voix.
Burning tables all around.
Yes.
We must get that scene.
De retour avec David Bowie à Musique Plus. So I was just, I find it fascinating that you're still very curious. You're
Look, I've got a
experimenting
hook
about
nose.
it.
Look at that.
Oh, well, it's a nice nose you've got. Yeah, so I mean, many artists, you know, when they get a bit older, they just write ballads and relax in their beautiful house with their beautiful wife. But you seem to still feel like experimenting.
I did all that when I was 40.
Well, you do have a beautiful wife too, but yeah, okay. But you still want to experiment and push the limits and take risks. And
yeah.
What still pushes you to
I
do
relaxed a bit when I was 40 for about 5 years.
Yeah.
I hated it.
You hated it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I started working hard again.
Okay. You get bored if you don't.
No, I just genuinely love what I do
Yeah.
with a passion. I really am passionate about my music, about performance, and about just trying to successfully do something different and change things in art and music and whatever. I enjoy that a lot. It's my life.
Yes. When you celebrated
I did it my way.
When you celebrated your...
And now, go on.
You want to sing me happy birthday?
I'm changing the words of that.
Today is my birthday.
Take away. What?
Today is my birthday. I could not imagine a better birthday present than having you here. Yes.
Wow, you don't look 50. That's incredible.
No, you're the one...
Incroyable.
Incroyable. You're the one who turned 50
oh, that's right.
in January.
Yeah.
And you celebrated with young artists.
Yeah.
So you're really not into nostalgia. You really are...
No, well, also, but then I had also... In
Louis.
some kind of compensation, I had Lou came on this. I'm Robert Smith, who's, you know, he's been around for a long time now.
Yeah.
But I tried to make it a pretty fair example of the kinds of things that I admire and that I listen to. And I guess the reciprocation on that was I understood that several of them were fairly influenced by what I'd done. So it was, you know, pretty much, again, a two-way thing. And I enjoyed that so much. Well, we're going to do something again this year.
Oh, yeah?
For my next birthday. Also for Save the Children's Fund.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure where we're going to do it yet. It may be Los Angeles, I don't know. We're going to try and change cities every year. But it might become an annual thing.
A great
try and
birthday
present a really interesting mix of artists, not a typical kind of show. You know.
Yeah.
So it's quite exciting, the ideas that are, specifically Reeves Gabrels, my guitar player, and I have been having. Putting together an interesting mix of people, you know.
Yeah, he's a very good guitar player.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Very talented.
Yeah.
How's his cold doing? He had this incredible cold last night.
I gave him a small jar of viruses this morning, which I hope could develop into pneumonia by the end of the day. Okay. And so we have a serious casualty on stage, which gives the theatrical aspects of the show more angst.
More angst.
I need him to bleed a lot more. He doesn't bleed enough, yeah.
Let me translate just
leeches.
Leeches?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Okay.
They look good, don't they? And they're very kind of au courant, aren't they?
Au courant.
Don't you think so?
Yes.
A few leeches here and there.
Yes. Rapidement, David Bowie a célébré son 50e anniversaire au mois de janvier et il y avait des artistes sur scène comme les Foo Fighters, The Cure, Sonic Youth et tout ça. Et puis c'est ça, donc il semble vraiment préférer s'entourer de nouveaux artistes. Il n'est pas vraiment nostalgique. Toutefois, il y avait quand même Lou Reed qui était là avec lui. Et puis on a parlé rapidement de Reeves Gabrels, son guitariste qui est très enrhumé. Et puis il dit qu'il veut répéter l'expérience d'avoir un spectacle chaque année à son anniversaire. You want to watch a bit of last night's show again?
I'd love to.
Okay. So let's see a bit of My Death that you've played last night.
Yippee!
Okay.
But whatever lies behind the door, there is nothing much to do. Angel or devil.
C'était My Death que David Bowie a interprété hier soir au Metropolis, une version anglaise d'une chanson de Jacques Brel. Ça faisait 25 ans qu'il ne l'avait pas interprété. You were saying that it's been 25 years he didn't play that
There's
one.
well, that one particular, I'm just remembering, we did it a couple of times, I think, on the 95 tour.
Okay.
But other than that, we haven't done it for about that long. But one of the songs that we did last night, The Supermen, we've genuinely haven't done since 1972.
Wow.
So it was very strange playing that.
Yes.
Because the last time I played that song, I played it with the same keyboard player that I have now, which is Mike Garson.
Okay.
And then I didn't see Mike for 20 years.
Wow.
And then we're back on the stage together playing a song that we hadn't done for 20 years. It's strange to do that.
And you're changing your set almost every night?
Yeah, there'll be different songs. Whoever came last night should expect some different, at least 6 different songs tonight, at least.
Cool. Alors,
Maybe 50.
Maybe 50?
Maybe 50.
So it might last 5 hours.
We may last through until about Saturday with tonight's show.
Cool.
It might be quite long.
Il dit que le spectacle de ce soir va être plus long que celui d'hier soir. Il va ajouter d'autres chansons. Il change régulièrement la liste des chansons qu'il interprète. Et puis la chanson My Death, c'est bon, la version anglaise d'une chanson de Jacques Brel qu'il n'avait pas interprétée, en tout cas depuis 85. Et puis il y a une autre chanson aussi qui s'appelle Superman qui a interprété pour la première fois hier depuis une vingtaine d'années. Je trouve ça très intéressant de faire ça. Visuals have always
Excellent
been...
translation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Visuals have always been very important in your career, and you've met someone very interesting, Floria Sigismondi,
Yes.
who's played a big role in your career lately.
Floria was absolutely just wonderful to work with. She was very open to the ideas that I had, and also she contributed terrific ideas of her own. One thing we both settled on was making something very strong in terms of the vision of the Little Wonder video was the work of an artist that I know from New York called Tony Ausler, who works with these small puppet creatures and projects their faces onto them. And we
had those on stage last night.
Exactly. We asked Tony if we could utilize those. And I think that the video that we constructed was, I think it's pretty innovative. I think there's nothing, I've not seen anything quite like it.
No.
Pretty strange piece of work.
Yeah. Alors, il a travaillé avec Floria Sigismondi, qui a fait Little Wonder, qui a aussi fait Dead Man Walking.
And this one, yeah.
Yeah, Dead Man Walking. Et puis, il la trouve extrêmement créative, tout ça. Et puis, il y a aussi un artiste qui participe au vidéoclip, Tony, qui a aussi participé à certains éléments qu'on voyait sur scène hier soir au spectacle au Metropolis. We're going to stop for a little break.
Okay.
And we'll come back right after. On
That's
s'arrête
great.
le temps d'une pause et on revient tout de suite après avec David Bowie.